What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. Donnie's co-host, solo co-host for the AEW content that you guys see on here on We Are Wrestling. Donnie, man. So this is pretty much how this is gonna go. And me and Donnie pretty much explained it in the past video. It wasn't really beneficial to do live reviews for Dynamite. The viewership just really wasn't there. Not necessarily our fault or your fault. You know, everybody and their mother does live reviews right after the show, whatever. So we were sort of getting lost in the shuffle. So for the time being, we're just going to do pre-recorded reviews the following day just to make it easier on fucking everybody, man. But Donnie,
and of course, too, like, we want the loyal We Are Wrestling Maniacs, to tune into this stuff. And we want to, do that with you guys because with Danny doing his watch-alongs for Dynamite and me doing my reactions, running around, because it's a lot doing, raw live reactions, we're really gassed out from it. Plus, I got to work mad early the next day. So this really works out for the both of us and our schedules because usually Thursdays there's not really much going on.
But you bet your ass, man. Once we get a lot bigger of a viewership than we have now, I'm pretty sure the live reviews will be coming back at some point. But Donnie, man, today is sort of unique because last night, obviously AEW first time in Worcester, you were actually at the event, man.
I was there last night.
How was your experience? Like, because I watched the show like in the usual format or whatever. So what's different watching it on TV as opposed to actually being there in attendance?
Well, let me tell you, in attendance, because I went to a recent Raw a couple months ago and I Dynamite last night, and let me tell you this. Raw definitely did have a bigger arena because they're being held at the XL Center. This was at the DCU Center, but the difference with the crowds is absolutely nuts in the DCU Center. Like, most of the seats were filled for the most part. I think they kept one area for media and the hard camera so it can operate in that little area. It's the middle of the other side that's not camera view. But let me tell you, the crowd was electrified. I would say halfway into dark, all the way until the main event of Dynamite. Some people left for Rampage, but the crowd was still pretty big for Rampage, which was really good. I left before the main event of Rampage because it was just... I'm going to give you guys something here since, I was going to be nice and, wait until Rampage aired, but fuck it. Let me give you We Are Wrestling Maniacs a little spoiler here that happened live during Rampage. So, you're going to get a laugh about this. So, you know how at the end, before the main event of Rampage, they have Mark Henry and they have, the two sides of the people.
Yeah.
Well, good thing this Rampage was not live because they had to redo that 5 times last night because Mark Henry's audio was not working. So, the thing would go on and the crowd is just getting sick of it. And then Justin Roberts had to, keep everybody, entertained. So he's like, let's give it 30 more seconds for Mark Henry. And then you hear Mark Henry just going. And then you hear, Anna Jay start going. And then you hear friggin' Ruby Soho just going. 5 times it friggin' happened. And then as soon as, the 5th time happened, the crowd went nuts. They were fucking going electric. They were loud as shit.
Yeah, man. So anything can happen when you're live, man. I mean, shit happens to us when we're live. It's bound to be expected, Luckily, it was
if you are going to an AEW show, here's a lesson. I want you, We Are Wrestling Maniacs, to know if you're a vlogger, they are on you like a hound dog. I don't know maybe if they seen the We Are Wrestling channel in my vlogs or what it was, but they were looking right at me. So, during the vlog, I was doing my camera like this, usually. You usually do it like that. So you get the full HD thing. But at a certain time, I had to be sneaky with it, and I actually had to do it this way. even with if you watch I think it was Powerhouse Hobbs turns on Ricky Starks. My
Yeah.
camera was not like this. It had to be like that because they were watching me. But this is the part that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. You would think that they would have their eyes on you during Rampage when it's not live, right? It's going up on Friday.
Yeah.
But then on Dynamite, they would be a little bit more kicked back because it's actually live. It was the complete opposite. During Rampage, I was able to do this. And during Dynamite, I had to pretty much do this. It sucked.
Hey, man. Yeah. Sounded like you had a pretty interesting night, though. But
I
I
did.
have
I'm
heard
very surprised I could do this review. I still have my voice, surprisingly. I don't know what was worse. Me, being at the show yelling or on the way home with my buddy's nephew going crazy, which you can check that out in the vlog.
you gotta let me know what the energy was like when Danielson came back and when Moxie came out.
Let me tell you, with Danielson, the energy was electric. But with Danielson, I was very concerned because I really think that Danielson either got another concussion or he just, had a scare
Yeah.
because that man, it took him a really long time to get out of the ring last night. And I think, legitimately knocked himself out when he went to do that drop kick because he
Yeah.
was not moving for quite a while.
Yeah, everybody online is saying, they're so disappointed the fact that Daniel Garcia won the match, and I'm like, bro, he fought his ass off
I
last night.
fucking loved it. Everybody in that crowd was so pissed off about that. I loved it for the simple fact that this is a legitimate heel.
Yeah.
That's what we need out of these heels because Jericho Appreciation Society, the crowd, it's over. And I see why AEW is having Jericho Appreciation Society every week on TV and why they're doing the whole Eddie Kingston thing because the
It's
crowd was
different.
going nuts for Eddie
It's
Kingston.
it's different than seeing it on TV, right?
Way different. And with Jericho Appreciation Society, it seems like they are, even more over now, this group, after the win that he got against Kingston. And let me tell you, friggin', it's going to be nuts because that crowd was just electric. And with Daniel Garcia winning, a lot of them were upset about it, but
Yeah.
I was actually really happy because Garcia has done a lot of work with Limitless Wrestling, Beyond, and wrestling promotions in the Northeast. So to see this guy go from jobbing with Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, losing all the time to actually beating a legitimate world champion in Bryan Danielson in the main event of Dynamite, he fucking deserves it.
But don't forget, these people that are complaining are the same people that are like, "Oh, AEW can't create new stars. They're relying on former WWE talent."
And that's how you make a new fucking star, is what they did last night with Garcia. Finally. My friends that I went to the show with, they were pissed off. And I'm like, you guys just need to fucking watch this kid because he's good.
Yeah, I said that on a few posts on Facebook and stuff like that. But anyway, man,
Moxley's
I'd
over,
say
though. The crowd went nuts for Moxley. That was
really.
awesome.
I mean, it's fucking Mox, man. You
Yes,
gotta love the
sir.
Mox. So I say
Knoxville
we.
Combat Club, baby.
Oh yes, sir.
Had
I say
to.
we. I say we get into the review, man. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, because this review is going to be all over the place. We're not going to do it like we usually do with the lives anymore. We're just going to kind of really talk about the things that we want to talk about and really
Yeah.
point them out. So it's just more free balling it now. So the first thing I definitely want to talk about has got to be the opening match. John
Yeah.
Moxley versus Rush.
Yeah. Roosh, man, like I said, the match that he had at Death Before Dishonor with his brother, man, that was. I definitely recommend you go back and rewatch that match because that match shows like what this guy is fucking capable of. Like him and his brother beat the holy hell out of each other. Like that match was fucking intense. So I knew he was gonna have a good match with Moxley. Moxley obviously got cut open. And a lot of people are complaining that it seems like every match Moxley bleeds or whatever. But people don't understand before Mox went to WWE and became Dean Ambrose, a member of the Shield. Like this dude was a deathmatch wrestler. Like he, CCW and barbed wire matches. Like that's what he's into. That's what he grew up around. That's what he loves. That's what he enjoys. And I feel like people are too quick to blame TK for some of the decisions like that instead of being like, okay, maybe the performers like being in AEW because they're allowed to express themselves in this manner. Um,
Speaking of TK, real quick, I just want to say TK is one of the nicest guys. So before Dynamite went on the air, he came out, said like something really cool. And
yeah.
then like after Dynamite, before Rampage started, he came out as well. And TK was just so cool. He loves coming to Mass, and he really hopes to do more shows.
Oh, bro, I feel like if we could get AEW at the Mass Mutual Center, bro, that'd be fucking lit. You
In
know,
Springfield, that would be awesome.
that would be absolutely phenomenal. Um, so with this match, especially being like world championship match, um, going through the entire card, I cannot understand that booking decision as to why they would have that match first. But I pretty much gave like sort of like a point of view from my angle. What was it like seeing that match and feeling the energy in that arena from where you were sitting?
Start to finish, that crowd was go louder than the entire Monday Night Raw episode I was at, even when Cody was out. And that might be a hot take, but fuck it. Really, that crowd just from the beginning of the show, the atmosphere was completely different than it was at Raw, and it was awesome. Like you had freaking, the crowd chanting, freaking like we got this crowd chanting, Mox is gonna kill you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it
I
was
heard that.
great. We got that going. That was us up in the section 236 that got everybody riled up.
Yeah, I kept
It
trying.
was nuts.
I kept trying to see if I could see it. You should have fucking had.
I was right where what do you call it? They had an all out banner for September. I was in that area right there, but in like a little bit of the darker side, I think. But I had a perfect view of everything though.
You should have brought a sign that said we are wrestling on YouTube.
Oh, next show, I'm definitely doing that because I just need to take a clip from that and just make a whole vlog out of it since they won't allow me to fucking vlog. Bullshit. But now, like with the match, Mox and Roosh, they killed it. It was a great fun match. I still don't like the fact that the ranking system doesn't mean shit because
Yeah,
Roosh hasn't really done much in AEW. But besides that, it was a great match overall. We were a little bit confused. We thought the Blackpool Combat Club would come out and like chase Andrade, but it ended up being Pentagon and Ray Phoenix, which was
yeah.
still cool though. And overall, I thought it was a pretty solid match.
I'm kind of glad that the Blackpool Combat Club didn't come out for the simple fact that I don't want them to get what's the word for it?
Overused.
Overused and stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
And plus with Penta and Ray Phoenix and Penta getting unmasked or whatever, Andrade them having some heat with each other, I definitely agree with that booking choice.
Yeah, definitely. And then we know Jericho Appreciation Society came out afterwards. They introduced Anna Jay, and like
Did you sing Judas? Be honest, man.
I did. They
You
they had it
did.
on. They did have it on like at one point because obviously they kept interrupting it for Dynamite and like Rampage. But like in between when Jericho came out to do the commentary for Rampage, they let the crowd sing it, which was cool. So they at least let us have that moment,
Yeah.
despite the TV not allowing it.
Well, when he came out onto the stage or whatever, or did like that little promo that he did, I
Oh
did
yeah, we
hear
were singing
Judas.
it until he cut us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was great.
That's Jericho being the fucking wizard, bro. You know?
Oh yeah, it was great. The whole friggin' I love the segment with them and Mox. Like I really liked
Yeah.
how Anna Jay is, now being portrayed because I think that with this new character change, with a little bit of attitude, I think that she could be a solid heel. I really see her and Ty Conti now like really taking the next step in their career, even if they're valets or, managers. They're
Yeah.
still doing more for me now as heels than they ever were doing as faces.
One thing that I have heard online, and a lot of people are, saying that they're not that crazy about, the fact that Anna Jay is now with them with JS, but she hasn't really explained as to why she got taken away from Dark Order. Do you think that should be?
That's the only thing that didn't make sense to me. I really hope that we get a segment pretty soon that will, answer those questions. But I legitimately like this a lot because the crowd was reacting more to Anna Jay than they ever have since her debut in AEW. Like
Yeah,
when she was talking, the crowd was freaking reacting. Just like Jericho, Guevara, Ty Conti. It was great overall.
yeah. Um, I do hope that they do explore that though, because I have one thing that I don't like is things that don't make any sense. Like you take this
Mhm.
person out of this scenario and you don't explain as the reason why. You know what I mean? So I do
Yeah,
hope they dive into that. Um,
definitely.
what else about
So,
this? What else about this segment did you like?
so with the segment, I do like how John Moxley brought up the VCR tapes because like when he
Yeah,
brought that up, the crowd started going nuts over that because it was nostalgia. A lot of people, that were at this show probably like bought VCR tapes to watch Jericho's matches and stuff. So like for Moxley to bring out the Lionheart, the crowd went nuts over that because the thing is that these old school wrestling reviewers like Jim Cornette and like
yeah,
Vince Russo and the typical marks that don't watch the show is the people that go to Dynamite, yes, there's some typical fans, but in that crowd, 90% of them are die-hard wrestling fans, pro wrestling fans. So that's why Danhausen works. That's why Orange Cassidy works. That's why freaking some of this crap that AEW is putting on that you might think is garbage is actually good because the
yeah,
crowd is so over it. And that is what makes some of the kids that were at the show that had no idea what AEW was freaking starting to do like the chants, like the Danhausen thing.
yep. And like you've said it several times in in the reviews or whatever for the show, that there's certain things in the show that you don't care for, and there's some booking decisions that you wouldn't like. But like since you were actually there live last night, did you get a different perspective as to why certain booking decisions are made?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I totally get it. The ranking system thing for me is always going to be something that
Yeah.
I'm going to still criticize TK about
It's hard.
because
It's hard to have a
very
ranking system in a predetermined sport. You know what I mean? It's not like
yeah,
boxing or
but
MMA,
like
but
if you're going to have Roosh go for the title, let him get some friggin' wins.
yeah. I feel like Roosh is gonna be a mainstay on ROH.
Oh,
He
he's definitely going to be, of
Yeah,
course.
he was over as fuck during the ROH show in Lowell, Mass. Bro, Massachusetts, man, is like a fucking wrestling mainstay, it seems like, man. They were hot last night in Worcester. They were hot at fucking Death Before Dishonor in Lowell. Like, it's
Mhm.
right. I'm proud to say I'm from Massachusetts, man.
Yes, sir. I'm proud to be from Mass, but I hate our fucking sport teams.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
So
so another thing definitely that I say, we get into and talk about is, of course, the Ricky Starks Open Challenge against Danhausen.
Ricky
Uh,
Starks, man, like I'm honestly surprised they did what they did on both fronts. I'm surprised they did what they did.
Me too. I could not believe what happened because for me, I thought storyline wise, what they were going to do was the typical thing that AEW would probably do. And
Yeah,
that is Danhausen, like if they wanted to have Ricky Starks move on from and worry about the next step in his career, have
yeah,
Danhausen beat him, and then eventually bring the Hookhausen thing back to where Hook, gets the title from Danhausen. That's what I thought was going to happen. But TK did a whole U turn, which booking wise, proves why he is getting so much better and better. Like he's really starting to understand what he's doing. And like, the typical fans are not seeing it.
hmm
I feel like us hardcore, maniacs are really starting to see how Tony Khan is doing his booking. And at times, he's moving the chess piece in a different direction that like you would expect him to do.
yeah,
And it's paying off because Ricky Starks, I have never seen the pop like he got last night. He might have lost, but he is more over as fuck than he's been his entire career.
And that fucking promo, bro, like the heart and
Loved
passion
it.
behind it. And
Loved it. And I want to see this man win a world title eventually.
I mean, he went from, sort of being behind Rusev and Lana at WrestleMania to now, being a mainstay on AEW. It's great to see.
What a
And
lot of
as
people
far
don't
as
understand, a lot of people don't understand about Ricky Starks is how much he has really sacrificed to become a professional wrestler. Like, he has slept in his car. He has been almost homeless because of doing this. Starks, really like put all of his eggs in this basket, and I'm so happy to see it finally pay off.
Yeah, man. And I hate to say it, bro, but a lot of people can be judgmental against TK, but if it wasn't for Tony Khan starting AEW, a lot of these guys wouldn't even be able to have the kind of opportunities that they have. So,
They
if you're
wouldn't. Starks would probably still be doing NWA.
if you're a wrestling fan, man, you gotta now that Triple H is taking over creative for WWE. I'm really hoping for WWE to succeed. I'm hoping for AEW to succeed. If you're a wrestling fan, man, and this goes to everybody, if you're a wrestling fan, man, be a fucking fan of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? And support NWA, support Impact, support WWE, support AEW. Because I
Most
mean,
importantly, support your independent promotions.
exactly, man. Search up your local independents near where you live. Me and Donnie have become really good friends with a promoter out here, and we go to a lot of the shows. We sponsor a lot of the matches and stuff like that. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, man, be a fan of pro wrestling because
Absolutely.
we have way more options than people back in the '90s and fucking '80s had. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, we have this powerful tool that we're doing right here. We're reviewing, this show, and we're able to, interact with other We Are Wrestling maniacs. And we get to, really, use this. And some people, really do it for, the attention, they do it for the clout, and they do it for the
Mhm.
wrong reasons. But, us, this is why the channel is called We Are Wrestling, because we, the fans, are wrestling.
Exactly, man. And I'm not saying you gotta like everything, man. Obviously,
Oh, of
there's some
course you
things.
can't. You
There's
you
some
gotta you
there's
gotta call them out.
there's things
Absolutely.
there's things in AEW that you're not gonna like. There's things in WWE that you're not gonna
But
like.
the best thing
It
about
happens.
this powerful tool here is we all might be having different opinions about the stuff, and it's cool to express it and hear what other people have to say about that, because there might be some things that you disagree with my takes, and there's
Yep.
things, I might disagree with your takes. And I sure as hell know me and you, we both disagree with a lot of things Ben has to say on the We Are Wrestling Talk show. But that's the thing that makes this being a fan of professional wrestling fun.
Exactly, man. It's
So
a
now
beauty.
with this so
Fandom
now
is a
with this whole with the whole booking thing, with the whole thing, I loved exact what they did there. Like, when they issued the challenge, my friend goes, "What if Hook comes out?" And I'm like, "No, Hook's not fucking coming out. TK's not gonna fucking do that." Next thing you know, the freaking entrance goes black, and then you hear his music go off. Everybody erupted in that place, went absolutely nuts. Friggin' Hook, got him in the submission. And then the cool thing was Ricky Starks just did that. And then during commercial, Ricky Starks, holy shit. I don't know if I got it on my vlog or not, but like, he was like he broke down bad. Like, he was crying.
bro.
Like, he was
Well,
like really sad. But I think
we
happy at the same time, because I think he, like, realized that like this is a big step, in his career, that this is happening. He put over one of his buddies. The crowd is electric, and like, he just was in the moment.
Yep. And the fact that they had Hobbs turn on him, I thought they were
Which
gonna
I
be
have
tag
a,
team
a thing I would
champions.
do want to say.
So
So there was this kid in front of me that met Powerhouse Hobbs, because I paid for this meet and greet thing. I
yep.
got the opportunity to meet Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero, and
And
also
Marina
Powerhouse
Shafir was behind
Hobbs.
the picture.
Yep. and Powerhouse Hobbs as well. And there's this kid, in front of me, he he was sick, he's not he was sick, and Powerhouse Hobbs, had a really cool interaction with him, and he actually told him a secret and told him not to tell anybody what it was. And I am really speculating that he told him about him turning on Ricky Starks.
Bro.
Which, as a kid, man, that must be so freaking cool.
I Hobbs seemed like he's a really
He was
really
he was
cool
so
dude.
nice. Hobbs was so freaking nice, outside, character.
Ironically enough, he used to work for Facebook. Did you know that?
I did not know that at all. But let me just say, this is exactly like Tony Khan, proved a lot of people wrong last night. Daniel Garcia freaking gets put over. And then, Hook gets put over by getting the championship. So now we finally get the Hook that we really enjoyed back.
Yep.
Also, freaking Ricky Starks, is going to get this mega face push, which I could definitely see him becoming eventually a world champion with this face turn, probably, because he has the
I could
charisma.
definitely see it.
He has it,
Yeah.
and it's not like they're freaking gonna make Powerhouse Hobbs do nothing as a dark, because they had him turn heel, full heel on Ricky Starks, which this worked out for everybody. And Tony Khan needs to get the respect now that he deserves.
And that's why I like AEW so much, man. It's not predictable. Like you think they're going, everybody assumed that, obviously Danielson's returning for this big match against Daniel Garcia. He's gonna win. Nope. You know what I
I
mean?
loved it. I loved the twist. That
I
was
love the
great.
I love the unpredictability of it.
And
But
that's the thing
do you
with
feel like
Powerhouse Hobbs. Here's what I'm hoping now, because we need to keep Powerhouse Hobbs as this dominant heel, but we
yeah,
also need to keep Ricky Starks now as one of our top face in All Elite Wrestling. Let's build this up
bro,
all the way to All Out. Make
have
this
you ever
happen at All Out.
have you ever thought about Powerhouse Hobbs feuding with Wardlow, Wardlow putting Hobbs over by Hobbs winning the TNT title, and then Hobbs putting Ricky Starks over and have Ricky Starks win the TNT title?
Eventually that could happen, but I'm just saying, in this feud, let it build up and not have these two wrestle until All Out.
Yeah.
Because
I
they have the history. They have
I
the
do
history that makes you want to buy the match.
I hope they filmed a lot of footage of them whether hanging out outside of AEW and just to have somewhat of a video package put together for when they do finally lock horns or whatever. It'll be
Oh,
like
AEW's
true.
video packages are some of the best.
It'll be like real life friends, they actually have heat and they actually have a score to settle. You know what I mean? I'm kind of
Yeah.
intrigued to find out why, and I'm hoping we find out next week. I want to find out why Hobbs decided at this moment it was time to turn on Ricky Starks.
And
I
I
thought
can't
they were
wait because
gonna
I
go.
get to do a reaction to that.
I thought they were gonna. Yeah, and you can always say, bro, I was at the show the night fucking Hobbs turned on Starks, man. Um, I'm intrigued to find out. I thought they were gonna throw the tag team titles on them at some point, and it makes even more sense as to why they didn't make that move.
Yep, which this all works out perfect. And I got to give Tony Khan lots of credit here because, yes, he split up Team Taz, but all three guys that were left in Team Taz are now over. And that's
Exactly.
great because Hook can put on some really good matches now with this FTW title on Rampage and, bring some viewership back over to that show against, underrated guys like Matt Sydal and other talent that really aren't being used properly to, keep building that, streak and, keep building what they got. Ricky
Yeah.
Starks, can go on this mega face push, which could get him an actual championship sometime. And Powerhouse Hobbs, now you got somebody that could feud. I could definitely see a great feud with him and Wardlow or him and Miro. They got some good big guys now.
Yeah. How was it seeing Hook? Because I know since Hook debuted on Rampage, you've been a big advocate of Hook. So
I
how was it seeing
fucking
him?
love Hook. Everybody loves Hook. If you don't love Hook, then it sucks to be you. That's what I gotta say. It sucks to be
How
you.
how was it being in the arena and just feeling the electricity when he won his first title?
Everybody was on their feet. Everybody. Like it was electric, that crowd.
Did it remind you a lot of like the Attitude Era crowds that we would get back in the
Yes.
day?
Oh my god, yes. There's a lot of signs, but not as many signs as the Attitude Era, and maybe a
Yeah,
smaller arena than the Attitude Era. But
yeah,
still, that's like what WWE has to do. I know for them, they look at it like, oh, we're downgrading. But like, you can't look at it like that. If you go into an arena like that in a WWE crowd, it would be fucking electric,
yeah.
and it would make the show watchable.
Well, I do know AEW runs smaller venues or whatever because they're very limited. A lot of the venues around the US, WWE has first dibs on.
Mhm.
And I don't know because I know WWE has contracts with a lot of arenas to run certain dates, and I don't know if that prevents Tony Khan from being able to get those arenas as well, even if WWE
Yeah,
aren't in the
but I
same
think
town. So
AEW is smart for what they're doing because
yeah.
they will do like the Raw style arena when they have a pay per view, like the United Center. So like they're
And
smart when they do that,
they announced last night, bro, that AEW is going to Canada for the first time, man.
and that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Which another
Uh,
thing I want to talk about that they announced for the first time. I am finally so happy I get to
the
finally talk
trio
about this.
titles?
We got trio belts. We got trio championships. If you've been watching these reviews for freaking months, years, fucking weeks, I don't even know. You have all known that I have been talking about trio belts, trio belts, trio belts, and we finally got fucking trio belts.
You should put a compilation of all the times you mentioned trio belts over the last couple of months.
That requires too much editing. So if We Are Wrestling Maniac wants to do that, I will cash app you $20 to do that. Just go through all of them and find it. Because
Yeah,
I've been
man.
talking about trio belts forever, and we're finally getting it.
Bro, I thought Kenny Omega was gonna make some kind of an appearance. Do you think we see Kenny Omega at All Out?
Yep, here's my prediction. So right now they're already teasing it. Young Bucks and Hangman, they're trying to like fix the friendship a little bit, but then they
Yeah.
have Dark Order kind of cock blocking Hangman. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to keep doing stuff like that slowly to where, All Out comes. They're going to try to, make Hangman their partner, but it's going to be too late because Hangman's going to try to talk to them and it's not going to work out because they found somebody. And I think that's when Kenny Omega makes his return and they win the trio belts.
Yeah, they're supposed to be having a tournament, I think, starting next week, all the way through
I'm
August.
so excited.
One thing I love about AEW, I love the way they do their tournaments. They make the tournaments feel like, like if you win the tournament, it's like you actually accomplished something or whatever. You know what I mean?
I do
Uh,
really like that about them as well. Definitely. It
it's
doesn't
not
feel
like
like
it,
they're like putting it on the show for like, the time's sake.
yeah, pretty much, and that's what I feel. If
Yeah.
WWE could fix that situation, like with the way they do their tournaments and stuff like that, hopefully,
I think
I
they
want,
can. Man,
I
cuz
want,
Triple H is very good with tournaments. I will
I
say
want,
that
Ki-
with NXT.
I want King of the Ring to come back as a fucking pay per view.
Seriously, that would be must-watch pay-per-view,
That would
honestly.
it'd be fucking amazing.
So now another match I think we definitely got to talk about a little bit was for the AEW Women's World Championship. We had
Yeah,
Thunder Rosa versus somebody from New Japan, I believe.
yeah. Um,
I'll
I
tell you this being there. The crowd went on longer than what they wanted. They wanted this match to wrap up at a certain point and
yeah,
they were trying to, communicate with the crowd. When the crowd is reacting a certain way, they tried, which I
yeah,
give them, credit for that compared to fucking Rampage with freaking Lee Moriarty and fucking Matt Sydal. That match is a shit show. When you see that on Friday, I don't know if they're going to cut shit out, but they were going on for like 20 fucking minutes and The crowd was just over it. They chanted, "You both suck."
Yeah.
But at least the women, they tried to, interact with the crowd. I thought it was a solid match, but they went on a little bit longer than expected. I think they should have definitely showed a video package at the crowd of this woman and why she got this title match. We all know, if you watch Dark, you know she beat Thunder Rosa non-title match to get that, but as the typical viewer that's there, they're just like, who is she?
I know they played some footage of Thunder Rosa wrestling in Japan earlier this month, and they also showed a quick little video package of Pac facing somebody in, I believe,
Mm,
Mexico.
Yep, which they need to do that for the crowd because they do have it's cool because the way they do it, they have like a TV on the side for the people that can't see. So it's not like just above the thing. They have one to the side and they need to do that. They need to show that stuff.
Yeah. Um, I didn't mind the match. You know, I've been I'm a big advocate of Thunder Rosa,
I love her
being
work. She's so good.
being champion. I do feel like they need to utilize her a little bit more, and not just having these pointless matches. I want to see more of her personality shine through. Like a couple of weeks ago when she cut that promo on the stage with Tony Schiavone, like everybody was a big advocate of what she was saying. And that's what I love about AEW is whenever they're cutting a promo, you hear straight from the heart. It's not like how in WWE certain occasions you can tell that they're memorizing a script or something. In
Yeah.
AEW, it's not like that. So I want to see more of Thunder Rosa's personality, and I feel like if we saw more of that, people would get more invested in her work.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. Definitely. That's a good take.
So, what'd you think of like being there in person? What'd you think of this match, as opposed to like, were you more into it seeing as you were there and in person? You felt the energy more so than you probably would have been just sitting at your house.
I think that the match, personally, for me, I'm going to be honest, if I was, at the house, if I was at my house, I probably would be editing reaction videos
Hmm.
while, this match was happening because for me, I like to, I like to always be multitasking when
Yeah,
wrestling shows are on, which is why I feel like with watch alongs, I kind of suck at doing them because I
yeah,
just can't sit there and just watch. I just can't.
yeah,
Like I have to be moving around or like at least like moving my room around while watching it or like I have to do something.
yeah. That's why I do watch alongs, man, because I'm able to interact with people while watching the show and give my thoughts and my
I know,
take
but
on
for
it and stuff
me,
like that.
man, I love the Maniacs, but for me, it's so hard to do that unless I'm actually with somebody, which is why I'm going to or Ben's house on Saturday to do it because
Well,
I'll
you better
probably
get
enjoy it a lot more.
You better fucking get used to it, bro. Because in September, the beginning of September is a very busy weekend for us. Because on Saturday we have Clash at the Castle, and then the following day we have All Out. And the day that All Out is on, NXT is doing a premium live event the same exact fucking day.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't support that type of shit with NXT. What
And
they're doing.
everybody's saying that WWE does not see AEW as competition. I don't know. I'm neither here nor here with that. Um, but yeah, I mean the match was okay. I'm going strictly off of what I remember. Because I think we said at the beginning of the review, neither one of us took
Yeah, we're
notes.
just going with the flow.
You were at the show, so you got to pay attention a little bit more than me. I had to watch it on my phone because my wife wanted to go grocery shopping, and so we went out and did the whole family thing. Um, so I don't remember too much about the match. I do know that it was for a women's match. It was a pretty long, lengthy match in a way.
And that's like what the fans were upset about being there.
Yep.
Hey, I'll say this: at least their match is better than fucking Lee Moriarty and fucking Matt Sydal on Friday. I'll tell you
Hold on,
that.
pause it real quick.
So now let's get into the main event of the show. We had Bryan Danielson make his return against Daniel Garcia.
Like we said throughout this entire review, man. Like everybody expected TK to make the easy choice, which would be you know Brian coming back from this injury, his first match back. him getting the victory, especially since we have All Out in September, which is not that far away. It would have been the easy choice to be like, all right, Brian's gonna win. Brian, Daniel Garcia is gonna put over Brian, but they made the conscious choice to be like, we know what Daniel Garcia is capable of. We know that when Brian and Punk and all these guys can no longer compete, guys like Garcia, they're going to be the face of the company. They're going to be the stepping stone, so to speak. And they made the conscious choice to have Brian put over Daniel Garcia. Now, like you said, you think that Brian potentially got another concussion during the match or whatever. Well, I didn't really see that from my vantage point.
Mhm.
Hopefully you can explain that a little
Well,
bit
here
more
I'll
deeper into this
definitely
match.
explain. I'll explain it. So, like, if you're there live, the thing that you could tell, this match was going very fast paced. And as
Yep.
soon as Bryan Danielson did that drop kick and fell, like he knocked himself out from it. Like they like waited a little while and stuff. Garcia, was showboating a little bit while, Bryan Danielson was down. And then it started becoming more slow pace for, quite a while to kind of let Bryan Danielson, get his conscience back because, Garcia was actually like just doing like little things to him. And then he got his like, conscience back a little bit. So he was able to do his kicks and, give him an unnecessary suplex above like the top rope, which definitely shook Bryan Danielson up a little bit more. And
Yep.
then, I love the ending, how Jake Hager, was under the ring, grabbed, Bryan Danielson's leg, and then Garcia, pretty much made him pass out to win.
Now, the one thing that I do want to say about this, and when you said last night on Facebook, when you messaged me and you were like, "Yeah, I think Brian actually got hurt during that match." Do you think the original ending? Do you think it was always going to be Garcia that won, or do you think that they made a conscious choice during the match and Brian being like, "I think I hurt my head again," and he ended up made the conscious choice in putting over Garcia?
A lot. So I was sitting, next to this fan for AEW, which me and him are getting along pretty cool. We were talking throughout the show. He subscribed to the channel and everything, so shout out to you. But
That's what's up.
that's the thing. Like, me and him were talking about it, and like, we really think that like they did do something. They switched maybe the win or something. But then again, they are trying to push the Jericho Appreciation Society a little bit more, and this kind of helps also Wheeler Yuta, who
Yeah,
beat Daniel Garcia at Ring of Honor, which you'll see on Rampage. Like, why? I'm not going to spoil that, just to be nice to AEW, but yeah, you'll definitely see why this worked out on
yeah.
Friday.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, this was a good back and forth match. High energy. I feel like Brian,
Oh, the
got
crowd was electric.
Brian got cut open. You know, and there was a lot of blood, man, between Moxley and Danielson. I don't know who bled more. It's like they're in competition with each other.
Yeah, I think Bryan Danielson did more because at some point they had like the doctors checking him, unlike Moxley.
Yeah.
They did for
Um.
Moxley for like a couple seconds, but Bryan Danielson, that was like at least 2 minutes.
Overall, I will say the show. Now, I didn't watch the show last week, and I'm kind of bummed about it because I did want to see. I heard it wasn't that good, but I did want to see the barbed wire match, which I haven't gone back and watched it yet.
Yeah.
But I heard this show was a lot like according to a lot of people, this show was a lot better paced than last week was.
Oh my God, the pace was pretty good for this one.
So overall, I think it was a pretty solid show. You had a great time. I had a good time watching it. I couldn't do a watch along because, like I said, the wife wanted to go out with the kiddos and go shopping, so I knew I wasn't gonna be here in time. But either way, man, watch alongs will resume on my channel tomorrow night. We watch SmackDown as well as Rampage, so maybe I see you. And
Hey,
yeah,
maybe.
last night was a solid show, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give this show being there and stuff. I'm definitely gonna have to give it, due to like pushing the new stars. I'm going to give it a 9.
You're gonna give it a 9.
I was
Um,
very impressed with the way that the show went from start to finish. The only reason why I can't give it a 10 because of how long the Thunder Rosa match was. That's the only reason. I love Thunder Rosa, but
yeah.
this match was a little bit longer than it should have been.
I'm gonna have to give this a 7.5. You know, I feel like it would have been higher on my list if I could have like sat down and enjoyed it and dissected a little bit more and actually took
Mhm.
in everything. Unfortunately, I couldn't. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7.5, which 7.5 is still a very good grade. It's not, it's not bad by any means. So I say
Yeah,
we wrap that up, man. That was one hell of a
I
review.
think
You gave your retrospective of
I
you
think
actually being
so.
there in attendance, and you'll have
Oh
a
yeah.
vlog very soon, which I'm looking forward to that. And we
Yep, the
also have
vlog will definitely be out sometime next week, probably like early next week. It will probably be Sunday or Monday,
and
definitely.
we also have a vlog that have you even started editing yet? When we
I
went
have
to
I have started.
all right, so we have another vlog, man. We took a trip to Albany, New York. It was
I'm hoping it
it's
comes
pretty
out tomorrow
amazing.
or Saturday. That's what I'm
It's
hoping.
pretty amazing, man. And we're also gonna have our SummerSlam prediction video out
That comes
very
out
very
tomorrow, baby.
tomorrow. Look out for that, man. And until then, man, Donnie, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. Well, if you guys enjoy this new, AEW reviews, make sure to smash that like button now. Also, comment down below your thoughts on, the show as well. Danny and I will try to, reply to you guys if we do on the We Are Wrestling channel. Like, we'll put our name underneath just so, you guys can talk to us. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow Danny and I on our social medias and other YouTube pages. All the links are down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.